The course itself. So on the first few days of class, I issue my course syllabus. I review it with the students, and we talk about what we're going to be doing this year, what the expectations are, what kind of activities we're doing, how I'm grading students, and rules and classroom guidelines. So right here at the top, the best way to reach me for students, obviously, especially during these times, is through email, rjones@portlandct.us. Please, if you would like to reach me, please use this address and make sure you type it exactly as it is, because my son is a student in the district as well, and he has a very similar email, so make sure you type it exactly like that. Course itself is basically an American literature course. So we look at all kinds of American stories, American authors from all different backgrounds, all different ethnic groups, male, female, different kinds of characters. And our focus is the American dream. Okay, so what we're talking about is how is the American dream represented in all of our different readings? How do different people view it from different backgrounds, and all those kinds of themes that go along with it, with equality, freedom, liberty, justice, all the things that are actually very relevant today. So this is a very, very relevant course for a sophomore to have. And I want to always expose them to different points of view, different perspectives, so they can kind of put themselves in someone else's shoes when reading or when experiencing something in my class. Okay, so that's really, in a nutshell, the point of the American Literature course in grade 10. I just told you the thematic focus is the American dream. Right, we've done a lot of projects at the beginning of the quarter about the American dream, like slideshows, and we have an interview project. And we do a lot of stuff where we talk about all the themes that are connected to the American dream. And I have 4 essential questions here. Okay, we spend a lot of time discussing that. The books we read. Our very first book is actually a nonfiction. So it's not a novel. It's a nonfiction about Emmett Till, a murder case that happened in 1950, which had a lot of implications for the civil rights movement. The other books I have here are, I will say that they might be subject to change depending on the format of school we're in, whether we're in person or if we're online or a combination of the two. But I plan to do To Kill a Mockingbird, possibly. Great Gatsby will probably be a definite, of Mice and Men. And then the Harlem Renaissance is a really fun unit of short essays, poems. And we also talk about music and visual art in that during the Harlem Renaissance. So that's a really fun unit I really hope to get to at the end of the year. Grading policy is broken down like this: 40% for big projects, essays, and presentations, 30% for quizzes and shorter, writing assignments, 20% for classwork, and 10% for participation. As always, the midterm and final affect the overall grade, but not the quarterly grades. Okay, this one here is a big one, especially in this class, because we talk about a lot of things where kids will disagree. Everyone has different ideas, different backgrounds in my classes, so we talk about things where kids have different points of view. And the biggest thing is I encourage that, but I also encourage them to be respectful and to listen first, respond thoughtfully and with consideration, okay? We have, like I said, we talk about a lot of things that are going on and that have connections to stuff going on today. So all I ask is that they're respectful, share their opinions, and don't take it personally or become nasty or combative. And I really don't see that. So I try to set expectation for that, and the kids generally are very good with that. Phones, I don't allow them during class. Obviously during mass breaks, they're fine. And then Chromebooks, I just tell them they have to bring them charged, because we use them all the time, especially during this pandemic, where there's less paper going from teacher to student. And then finally, plagiarism. I really don't tolerate that, either copying something from online or copying another student. So I do look for that, and there are consequences. Usually I don't have any problems with that, but occasionally there's been a few instances over the years where I have to give a 0 and call a parent because they just copied someone. Okay, so that is that for my syllabus. If you have any questions, please reach out to me in terms of what we're reading, what we're talking about in class, or if there's anything I should know about your student that they're sensitive about, or might affect their learning. Right here's the best way to reach me. I can always follow up with a phone call after an email. Also, another way for you to track your student is to send me an email, and I can invite you to the Google Classroom so you can see what we're working on, how they're doing, what some of their scores are. And as always, Aspen is a great way to see where they are in the quarter, their average, how many missing assignments they have, or how well they're doing. Okay, so either way, you can track them in those two mediums. That is it for me today. Please reach out with any questions. The sophomores are very interesting bunch, very, very fun bunch. I had a lot of them. In fact, almost all of them last year. So having them again in year two, I love seeing the growth from freshman to sophomore. Not only physically, they grow tall, but they actually grow intellectually, and they take on more maturity and responsibility. And I love seeing that in year two at the high school. So that's it for me today. Thanks for watching my video, and please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns.